What's going on, everybody? So we're going to take a look at chord progressions, or a specific chord progression. Now, if you go to YouTube and search, common chord progressions, or Google, you're going to get a list, and it's going to have a bunch of Roman numerals, and those are just telling you what chords of the key we're going to play. And these are just, small little building blocks of music, right? That you can put together, string a couple of them together, and you have a song. But what does that actually mean for us as a guitar player? So we're going to explore that today, just a little bit. I am in a drop D tuning, and then below you can find a link for the tabs that you see going across the screen. So let's take a look at a specific chord progression and a couple of different ways that we can interpret it, spice it up, change it around a little bit, and take just a generic chord progression and then turn it into, like I said, a riff, a chord, something that we can use in a song. Okay, so the chord progression we're going to use is 1, 5, 6, 4. So we're going to be in the key of D. We're going to just start with, say, open position chords. Okay, so we can do D, and then the 5 chord, which is A, moving to the 6 chord, which is B, ending on the 4 chord, which is G. Now, I'm in a drop D tuning, like I mentioned before, so we can't necessarily play open position G like this. Everything is up 2 frets, so I'm basically playing 3, 3 on the high strings with open 4 and 3. And then taking my ring finger and putting it down here on the 5th fret, and that is G. Okay? So we have D, A, B minor, G. Okay, so now, we can play it like that, right? And that's nice, right? But maybe that's not your cup of tea, so to speak, right? That's not the style you want to write with. So that is one way we can do it. Maybe we want to just do some kind of power chord riff, right? Maybe we're just learning. Maybe we're a beginner guitar player. Maybe we want to write a throwback 80s kind of thing, and we want to use power chords. Whatever your reason is, let's find these chords as power chords. So this is simple enough. So we have the 5th fret of the A string, right? That could also be 12 or open on your low string. All your notes on the low string are moved up, so now A is going to be here on 7. Whole step up, down to 5. And now all of a sudden we've transformed that chord progression into that style of song, right? And again, if we're just starting out, you can use that as an opportunity to learn some notes on the guitar, okay? But again, maybe none of this is your flavor, right? None of this is the sound you want to hear. It's the color palette you want to paint with, right? So let's see if we can dress up these chords a little bit with some extra flavor, right? So let's try this. Instead of D here, let's try this D chord, right? This one right here. How's that sound? I like that chord. It sounds really nice. So this is a D at major 9 chord, okay? So this note is D, 5 on your A string, F sharp or 4 on your D string, C sharp or 6 on your G string, E or 5 on your B string. We can double the E with the open E for texture, right? Guitar texture. And then we can do the same thing for the open D string down here. All right, you can do a lot with that chord, okay? So now we find an A chord, and let's try this one, right? We can play this chord right here. It's open A, 7 on the D string, which is also A, so there's your octave, C sharp, F sharp, right? A little color tone, and then your root note A again right here, okay? I could also, with my ring finger, maybe just bar there and play that power chord underneath that. If I wanted to make it a 6th string chord like that, kind of lush and thick. And then we have the B minor chord. Let's try this. B is here on 9, one of my favorite chord voicings. really nice chord, and essentially it's a B minor 9, right? So we have B or 9 on the D string, 7 or D on the G string, 10 or A on the B string, and then C sharp on that high string. Okay, so this is essentially a root note, a third, a 7, flat 7, and then a 9. So that gives us a minor 9 chord. And again, the same thing we did with the A chord, we can kind of extend, put the power chord underneath it. And then for the G chord, let's do something kind of open, sussy sounding like this. Right? So we have basically 5, 5, 5, 7, 7, 5. Very easy kind of bar chord to play. So if we're working on our bar chords, this will be a good one. Right? So we can really dress those chords up. So there you go. That's how we can take a chord progression and then manipulate it in a guitar-centered way, right, from a guitarist's perspective, and turn it into little bits of music that we can turn into a song, right? So down below, you can find a link for all the tabs, and as always, let me know what you come up with. So until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.